going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. All right, so it is time to go over your mailbag questions. And if there are any new potential mailbag questions that came in and I did not go over them, I do apologize. These are the mailbag questions that I received before I started recording them, or recording this video and answering them. So I do apologize in advance if I missed your question, but I thank each and every one of you for the questions. As always, they're really, really good ones to go over. And we're just going to go over all of it right now. That one Falcons fan asked, should we bring back the thekowski red unis to pair with the red helmets? Well, if you're not going to wear the gradient jerseys, then you might as well have at least one game where you wear that, right? Like, just wear the thekowski unis with the red helmets. Like, I mean, honestly, just why not? Like, for one game, just see if the players really like wearing it. So, yeah, bring it back. But not for too much. I do kind of like to stay a little modern with uniforms, and not even just with uniforms, just like in general. But I wouldn't wear those for too much. Maybe like 1 or 2 games a year is fine. But I mean, yeah, we can bring him back. Goldie Jr. asked, how will Patterson fit into this new run-heavy offense? I don't know. Patterson is probably not going to start, right? Like, Bijan Robinson is probably going to be the starting running back, and he's going to get most of the carries. And then Tyler Algier is probably going to be right after him, getting a lot more carries as well. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe they have Tyler Algier start and Bijan Robinson is behind him. But either way, I mean, it's not like it would shock me if Cordarrelle Patterson got the starting running back spot, because it's like, to be fair, he was the first running back to work in the Arthur Smith era. We brought in Mike Davis and that didn't work. And then Cordarrelle Patterson earned his starting spot the next year. So maybe I wouldn't be like surprised if they made the veteran breakout Falcon Cordarrelle Patterson start at running back, but probably not, right? Like, they're probably going to make it Bijan and Tyler Algier, and maybe they use Patterson for mostly special teams. I do think that Patterson's mostly going to be on special teams, and I do also think that he's probably going to be mostly a receiving back, because he's a very versatile weapon at receiving back. But what is it going to be when running the ball? He's kind of like Tyler Algier, to be honest with you. Like, he actually can hit people. He's not a weak running back. He can actually truck and really damage some defensive players. Maybe they'll use Patterson as kind of like a go-ahead, punch-it-in kind of running back. Or if maybe it's like 1st and 10, and I don't know. They just want to go straight down the middle. Nothing cute, nothing fancy. Let's just use Patterson to just be that strong runner on first down. Just literally just dive through. Don't care. Because Patterson can hit. He really can. He's like Tyler Algier. Who do I think is the stronger hitter? I guess it's for a different time. But I don't know. I mean, you know, he's probably not going to run as much as Bijan and Tyler Algier. So to answer the question, I'm not really sure if this was like a complete answer, because maybe they just don't use him at running back all that often. Maybe they only use him for like receiving back, and maybe only on 3rd down they just want him to punch it in or something. So maybe like a 3rd down back, I guess, to answer your question. But he's mostly going to be used as a special teams player, is what I'm thinking, because I think they also just kind of want to develop the younger guys with Bijan and Tyler. Will Mendoza asked, how do you feel about Drew Dalman starting? Should we pick a veteran center? And who? Chase Roullier, Rodney Hudson, Ben Jones, and maybe Billy Price. Drew Dalman's so hard to pin for me. Like, it's not that he sucks, but I don't think anyone feels great about him either. I never really was, like, super high on the Drew Dalman draft pick. Like, when we got him, I mean, I know Matt Hennessy didn't really work out. That was the main reason I wasn't high on the Drew Dalman pick, is because I just kind of thought that Matt Hennessy was going to be great. And yeah, that didn't really work out. But even still, like, I was like, I mean, Drew Dalman's not a bad player. I don't know, like, really a center? I don't know. I wasn't really on board with it. And how's he been in the NFL? He's been just okay. The low snap thing is such an issue. He can run block just like every other offensive lineman we got, but pass protection is not horrible, but I think you can do a little better. And so if you brought in like Rodney Hudson or Billy Price, honestly, why not? I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if maybe next year we even do pick up a center in free agency or in the draft somewhere. Because I think, they'll probably give Drew Dahlman the start for this year. But if he still just performs like he did last year, then I don't see how he's going to, make it much farther. Kingspur 353535 asked, should Arthur Smith be on the hot seat if we start the season off on a bad note? Like going 2-4 or maybe 1-4 to start the season? Honestly, no, because yes, I know I've been on this huge, tantrum that the Falcons, even though they have an easy schedule, we can't just look at every game and be like, oh, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. Like, I don't know. I don't like just overlooking so many opponents. But if there is any hard part of this schedule, I do think that it is in the beginning because we got, honestly, the Panthers and the Packers, we can win those games. I think we can beat the Packers and we can at least split the series versus the Panthers. But then, versus Detroit and the Jags, that's a hard challenge there. And I think that those two teams are a year or two ahead of us. And I don't know. I don't know how the Falcons are going to pull off those wins. And so, maybe we start the year 2-2, like possibly a win versus the Packers and Panthers. And then we lose to the Jags and the Lions. And then after that, it gets a little easier, like the Commanders and Texans. If we lose those games, I still wouldn't be like, we got to fire Arthur Smith. The only way I would say we need to fire Arthur Smith is if we finish the year without any playoffs. I think that's when I don't know if you fire Arthur Smith, but you at least put him in the hot seat. Because, again, I know this is cliche, but it's not really how you start, it's how you finish. And if we start bad, I'm like, okay, the start of the schedule was about the only, quote-unquote hard part to our easy schedule. So it's I wouldn't, be, that shocked if we started, Because, to be fair, Desmond Ridder also, he hasn't really played that long in the NFL. Maybe he just has a slow time adjusting in the beginning of the season, but then turns it around late. Bijan Robinson, we expect good things from him, but he's still a rookie. Maybe he needs a little bit of time to develop in the beginning. All this stuff. So maybe we start bad, but if we finish bad, that's when I would put Arthur Smith on the hot seat, even though I freaking love defending him. That one Falcons fan asked, which game will you attend? To be honest with you, the whole conversations with me and my family about which Falcons games we can attend have kind of died out at the moment. I don't know, it's just been some fantasy baseball and other distractions going on. But we're still hopefully going to go to a game. The Falcons and Colts game, I don't know if that'll happen only because, I guess I went to the Dolphins and Packers game in Christmas last year, but, I don't know. I can't imagine that my family's not going to have something planned or for Christmas Eve even. And so maybe they would just want to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas together instead of going to a Falcons game, because I'm really the only Falcons fan in the family. Everyone else, there's a Dolphins fan and a Colts fan. And honestly, the rest of them aren't truly into football. I have a giant family, but there's only a small portion that's actually into football. So that's why I'm kind of would the rest of the non-football fans even be all that into us going to a Falcons and Colts game? But I don't know, maybe. And by the way, to answer some questions that's been going around, basically when I said that I was interested in the Falcons and Colts game, because during that time I'm usually in Georgia, but maybe not this time around. There were some people in the comment section that were like, oh, you don't live in Georgia? And, I just real quickly wanted to say that I do not live in Georgia. I actually live in Florida. And I've explained how I became a Falcons fan in past live streams with Out of Your Falcon Mind and whatnot. So I'm not going to explain it too much more. But anyway, yeah, I just want to say that I'm getting off track. What are some games that I would like to attend? I would love to go to the London game, but you have to really plan that out. And is it likely? I mean, probably not, but I would like to go. The week 1 versus the Panthers game would be kind of nice. And then a Saints game, of course, would be nice. So the Falcons versus Saints, Falcons versus Panthers week 1, Falcons versus Colts, or if I can, the London game. We'll see. But I would love to be optimistic and, goal oriented to make that happen. But that's easier said than done. So we'll see. But I don't know. That one Falcons fan asked, no gradient jerseys. Thoughts? Well, I love the gradient jerseys. If you look at my Twitter, I've always kind of defended the gradient jerseys because I always thought that they were very creative. You have the red on top, and then it doesn't just turn black on the bottom. It's creative how it does it. It's pixelated and it just, I don't know, it fades. I just think it's creative. And this is as unpopular as unpopular opinions come. But I actually like the gradients more than I do the all black jerseys. I just do, because the black shoes and the black helmets mixed in with the all black jerseys, to me, it's too much black and there's barely any color combination. And I don't know. I think it's bland. Whereas, I mean, at least the all white uniforms can color match with the black helmets and shoes. Or, I mean, not every player's wearing black shoes, but you get the point. But, yeah, I don't know. I just think that the color combination and the creativity was cool with the gradient jerseys. And it also just kind of reminded me of the old jerseys we used to have before 2020. I forgot what year we got the previous jerseys from. 2002 or something? I can't really remember. But, yeah, it reminds me of those jerseys. I personally love them. I would love for them to bring it back. Cool stuff I want to share as best Falcons uniform ever. All right, so I do like the red helmets that we brought in matched with the throwback jerseys. And then even without the red helmets, the throwback jerseys are nice. But I am a little biased. I don't really like to choose things that are from the past. Only because I guess I'm just kind of a modern guy. I just kind of like to see new things instead of just kind of go back to the past. Even though I'm not trashing the throwback jerseys. I'm simply just saying I'm biased and I probably wouldn't say they're the best only because that's just who I am. But I mean, if you're talking about of all time. So here are 2 jerseys that we didn't really see much of, but I kind of like them. So you had the alternative jerseys that was in 2010 or something, where it was mostly black. I'll have to pull up a picture of it. I can't really explain it, but those jerseys, I kind of liked those jerseys a lot, actually. I thought that was really sick. And then the color rush, why did we only wear that for a year? That was honestly one of my favorite things the NFL did, and they just got rid of it for no good reason. I thought that was awesome. So everyone else will probably say the throwback jerseys. I'm biased only because I just kind of like to stick to something a little more modern. But I thought that those alternative jerseys were cool, and the color rush was kind of cool. But I don't know. That's just me. Will Mendoza asks, should we get DeAndre Hopkins? What about Unique Ngakoue? Well, DeAndre Hopkins is an obvious yes. Honestly, Terry, what are you even waiting for? DeAndre Hopkins will definitely go somewhere that offers him a lot of money, and rightfully so. He's still one of the top receivers in the league. And I mean, if you want a great impact on the field and to make the playoffs in 2023 and scare your NFC South, and not even just your NFC South opponents, but just every opponent you face in general. Like, you think maybe Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and DeAndre Hopkins would like give them a headache to deal with? And also, you're developing Desmond Ridder. So, like, why aren't you getting DeAndre Hopkins? You have the money. And then Unique Ngakoue, I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't really overpay him, but I would give him maybe like a 2-year deal. I think that's pretty fair. It's giving Unique Ngakoue like a 2-year deal just to give the younger guys some tutoring and also see what Ryan Nielsen can do with him. And then the last question is, Will Mendoza asks, we have $14 million in cap space. What should we do? Get DeAndre Hopkins, but I wouldn't, you know, I'm not going to overpay at this point. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to give the roster that we have now a chance. Everyone seems to be on board that this is like at least a 10+ win team. I think 10 wins is certainly possible with this roster. And so I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm okay if we honestly just chill with the money for a little bit and just see where this roster goes. And honestly, I maybe wouldn't really make a move unless something is pretty obvious. Like if like Drew Dahlman is really not looking good, that's when I would kind of be like, maybe we should get Billy Price or something. But I mean, if you don't want to get DeAndre Hopkins, then I guess just save it for a little bit and just see where the roster goes. But that's just me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll see you guys very soon with another Mailbag Questions video next Wednesday. Love and appreciate you all for the support. And as always, rise up.